ID 1000, it's about identity, looking at the identity of your local area, but your identity as well, a sense of history, sense of place, and what that brings out for you.
Your identity comes partly from your heritage, but it's partly much more personal stuff, or much more stuff about now.
You know, Barrow itself, there are so many stories. It turned from a village of 300 people to a town of 59,000 in a matter of years. So I think they found it all really quite interesting, and their identity, it can only be good for them to learn from other people about their identity, you know, and share stories and feelings and emotions. And they've all been quite open about that, which is great.
I'd like to think about something about your heritage. Where you come from. How far back in your head do you know about your family? Now, as you're thinking about it, think of one word that will sum up your family.
Loving.
Loving, good.
Dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional.
Fun.
Fun.
Country.
Country.
Eccentric.
Eccentric.
Strange.
Strange.
Not so bad.
Not so bad, that's nice.
Well, the first week has been sort of about exploring the area, the heritage, the stories, also sort of most importantly the young people who've got involved, and sort of building their confidence and working as a group, and the peer educators for them to sort of understand about the area and the stories that are here. They've done lots of things. They've been to museums, they've been to the Abbey, they've had people visit them, they've had music, traditional music, and so they've had a really eclectic mix of the whole sort of area.
Doing exercises and like a lot of research into Barrow and all of its history and stuff.
Even though it's history, it's still been a whole lot of fun.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Dock Museum. Some of you have probably been before, and some of you have no idea what's in here. But what I'm going to do is give you a bit of background behind what the museum is all about, because, as some of you no doubt know, it tells you the extraordinary story of how 200 years ago a very small community of farming houses, wasn't even big enough to be called a village, farming houses, community of about 30 to 60 people, within 50 years turned itself into a village of 300 people, and then 50 years later a town of nearly 60,000 people. And it's an extraordinary story. It was the fastest growing town in Victorian Britain, possibly in the world.
So the process for me really was to come quite open to whatever the young people wanted to tell, whatever their stories were. So to arrive without any idea, we still have no idea of what we're doing, but that's okay, I'm not going to panic.
Well, it really has been about the young people coming up with the ideas, and myself and Laura seeing how we can put it together. I mean, there's so many varied stories and things going on. It's just been, that's been the hardest thing to do, is to decide which way to go, because heritage, we are our heritage. And our identity comes from that too, so it's finding a link that was the difficult thing, but I think we've cracked it.
The young people are working really well together, and I feel that there's a great atmosphere between them. You can send them away in groups and they come back with really imaginative stuff, which is great, you know. Every time we send them away they bring back something really interesting. So from that point of view, it's wonderful.
So we're now in the second week, so this has been more about even working out from the research week which stories we were interested in and investigating them a little bit further.
Where do they live? Do you know how much you know about their living situation?
Interested in the theme of what people hide from themselves, from other people, and throughout Barrow's history, It's got a huge history of religion, so a lot of people have had to hide their religion, their beliefs, and so we're looking at that at the moment. And that came from an improvisation that some of the young people did in the Abbey, of playing hide and seek within the walls, of these children just jumping through the walls, and it was really beautiful. And we just thought, ooh, and that just sparked an idea. So this week is about embedding some more stories, discovering a bit more, and then just beginning to tie them all together a little bit. We're going down to the Abbey tomorrow to sort of play around with the space, because I think the space itself is really important and imaginative. So again, it's about more play this week.
I'm hiding frustration.
There seems to be a theme of hiding maybe emerging. The Quakers had to hide the fact that they were Quakers and that they were having meetings up at Swarthmore Hall. Catholics, after Furness Abbey was ruined, after the dissolution of the abbeys and after the Reformation, Catholics had to hide their identity, they had to hide their religion, they had to either become Protestants or hide the fact that they were practicing Catholics. They weren't allowed to practice. You know, I wondered whether the cockle-pickers, in order to get here, had to hide. People hiding from the bombs in the Blitz.
The old man is snoring. He went to bed, bumped his head, and couldn't get up in the morning. Destroy the Abbey! The Abbey?
It will be what it will be, you know. You have to trust the process and trust that you sort of can't sort of grab at an idea too quickly. You know, it may seem like the solution, but then it might in the end be insubstantial. You've sort of got to trust that the material will itself suggest a shape and a story.
Yeah, I'm absolutely really enjoying it. This workshop. It's been some of the best weeks of my life. I'd say it's been amazing.
I've made loads of new friends, and hope to meet them outside of this.
So far, so good. I'm loving this new experience, and I'm learning lots of new things.
I am very confident about it because they work so well as a group, and it's just they're fascinating. It's already quite fascinating the work they've done, and if we were to show now just some of the things they've done, then we would that would be fine. But we also want to sort of do them justice by getting a story and pulling it all together, and using the space of the Abbey as a sort of an imaginative background for it. So I think it should be alright.
And then there's the Abbey itself and what that suggests. Because when we went there, it's just so imposing, it's almost overwhelming, because there's so many choices one could make about how to use it and which bits to use.
I am confident, as in I will smile, because I know the process behind every single scene, and that will make me smile.